Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is an introduction to a project pan I'm doing in collaboration with a bunch of other YouTubers and Instagrammers. It's called the Graveyard Project Pan. I believe it was created by Jamie. I will have her information as well as everybody else's information linked in the description box. And this is going to be a little bit different from the other project pans I do because it's longer term, and instead of doing an update every month, I'll be doing it every 2 months. And so as a result, I've decided to choose products that take a little bit longer to show progress. They're either much larger products or they're just, because of the way I use it or whatever, I don't use a ton every time. And so I'm choosing products that I can at least show some progress after 2 months instead of just one. It is going to be a rolling project pan, and we all were able to choose anywhere between 5 and 10 products. And the two main categories are going to be resurrection and collecting cobwebs. We do want to have kind of like a Halloween theme because the last day of the project pan, the last video update, will be on October 31st, which is Halloween. Resurrection is any product that you've had in a previous project pan that you weren't able to hit your goal on or finish before the end. So you're resurrecting it, you're bringing it back into another project pan to try to finish. And the second category, which is the majority of the products I'll be using, are ones that are collecting cobwebs. They're products that are close to expiration, or they just have been sitting around in your collection for a long time and you haven't been giving them the amount of use that you feel like you should be. Anyway, thank you so much to Jamie for asking me to be a part of the project. It's got a lot of people in here that I collaborate with and work with on a regular basis anyway, so it's fun to kind of bring everybody together and also find some new project panners that I hadn't heard of before. So let's get started with the products. The very first one I want to talk about is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's the Brow Pomade in the shade Taupe. This one, I think I purchased this before my no-buy in 2017, so this is 3 years old, and it is kind of like a creamy product. It's a brow pomade, and I don't really feel comfortable with products like that just sitting around in my collection for so long. I do have pan on it, I do have a lot of it used, but I just don't use it regularly enough to feel like I'm going to finish it before it's expired. I do know that you can add like oils to it and do stuff to kind of bring it back to life, and I do plan on doing that. I really do want to use this up before it expires, and if I use it every day, I'm using it in my brows today, I really feel like I can, and this is something that is going to take a lot of time to show progress. I do weigh my products, so I will be able to tell you how many grams I've used up in every update, and I think for a product like this, it's going to be necessary to show you any progress because I feel like I use so little every day that just showing you pictures might not be enough to see progress. The next one is a face powder. It's one of my oldest face powders. It's the RCMA No Color Powder. I think the main reason I don't use this as often as I should is because of the packaging. I actually like the powder quite a bit. I think it's good, but it's so difficult to keep it from getting so messy every time I use it that I don't reach for it. My solution to that is going to be putting it into a different container. Every month I'm going to put a little bit in here. This is an old by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder container. It's empty and I can take the sifter out. So I'm going to put some of this in here and use it that way because this container is much easier to use on a regular basis. So that's how I'm going to try to use it up more. I don't know if I can finish up this whole thing in 6 months time, but I am really going to try. The next one is a bronzer, and I really want to finish this by the end of the year. So I kind of want to take this 6-month project pan and really focus on it. It's the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in the shade Tantric. I've used this a ton to the point where it's no longer bumped out. It was kind of like a dome shape before, and now it's flat. And I have kind of worn away the lines that are on the very top. And this is a huge bronzer. It's one of my oldest and also one of my most expensive. I think with bronzers, I really just focus on one until it's finished. And so I have used up a lot of bronzers. I used up 4 last year, and I've already used up 1 this year, and I'm almost finished with another one. Bronzers are something that I can use the same thing every day and not get sick of it. I love the color of this. It's very appropriate for the summertime because it is a little bit of a deeper color compared to some other bronzers that I own, and it has like an incredibly slight reddish tint to it. At least that's how it pulls on my skin. And so it's a lot more natural looking in the summertime when I am supposedly getting more sun. I'm not getting more sun. I'm never in the sun, if you can tell. But this will kind of create that sun effect. If I could at least hit pan on it, that would be amazing. Hitting pan on a product this big would be a very big accomplishment, but really, once I hit pan, I'm gonna still continue using it because I do want to have this done by the end of the year. So as much progress as I can make up until Halloween would be great. My next product is a lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Pillow Talk, and this is technically a product that can go in both categories. It's both a resurrection and a collecting cobwebs product. I did have this in a project pan probably a year or so ago, and I wasn't trying to use it up or make any specific progress on it. I just wanted to reach for it more. I had 2 Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks at the time, this and Bitch Perfect, and I found myself using Bitch Perfect much more than this one, even though this is my older lipstick of the 2. This time I would like to finish it. It is one of my oldest lipsticks, and with lipsticks I really want to make sure I do finish them before they expire. So I am going to try and finish this before it expires. And my very last product is not a makeup product necessarily, but it is tinted. It's the e.l.f. Beauty Shield SPF Skin Shielding Moisturizer with Universal Tint. It is a very watery product, and then it has a tint to it. It reminds me a lot of the e.l.f. Active Stay Out and Play SPF 50 product. They're both very liquidy and they both have a little bit of a tint to it, and this is one of the oldest SPF products I have in my collection. I do want to make a habit of incorporating SPF products into all of my project pans to make sure that I'm actually using them on a regular basis, because that's the whole point of using SPF. We are getting to the warmer months, so SPF 50 is perfect for me. I have another SPF product in my current project pan, my 10 by Summer, and that one is close to being finished, so I am incorporating a new one in this one. I don't think it'll expire, but I do think the SPF will start to lose its, what's the word? Effectiveness or efficiency. I'm not sure what the word to describe that is, but I want to use it before it's expired, essentially. So this is almost new. I've only used this a handful of times, so I think 6 months is the perfect amount of time for me to track my progress. I definitely think I can have this finished by the end of the project. And those are all of my products I have to talk about today. I thank Jamie so much for asking me to be a part of this project pan. I do typically do 3-month-long seasonal project pans, and to incorporate some products that I hesitate to put in those because they take longer to show progress, being able to put them into a longer term project pan with less often updates I think is perfect. It's definitely what I needed, and it's adding some, it's just changing things up a little bit for me in my project pan routine and my everyday makeup routine, so I really appreciate her asking me to be a part of it. Be sure to go check out the other project planners. Like I said, I'll have all of their information linked in the description box, but in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!